so I assume you have perfect pitch.
Yeah.
Uh, and when you're so you hear music, when you've
Mm.
told me you hear music when you eat, or
Oh
just
yeah.
based off your other senses in general, it's creating music for you in your head. And does that music generally follow conventional harmony, or is it Western harmony that's just flowing to your head, or is it outside of harmony that
I
people would normally
mean,
think of?
because I've been fortunate to expose myself to music outside of Western music, it can be anything at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, the heater is freezing in Tokyo right now. So the heater is on and it's humming in B. The most dominant note is B, right? But I don't, and I'm sure you guys can't hear that, but
No.
it's just humming and it's like that. Listening to this, the first thing I think of is like Carnatic music. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? Like South Indian classical Carnatic music. Like I'm hearing all these things that would sound dope over that. Not Western at all. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? It's just straight up like 1930 India, or like when people from Punjab were migrating to Pakistan, which used to be part of it, but now they broke off to their own thing. But that's I hear different things all the time, and I'm at a place where I don't question the weirdness of it. I just let it do what it does.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? But I'm for sure 100%. I'm always listening to everything, and everything is music to me. Everything. You could clap. Of course, I'm gonna think about rhythm or a polyrhythm, or I'll be trying to listen into what the note of your clap is. This is super nerd music stuff that I was very uncomfortable. I probably told you that I was really uncomfortable sharing that stuff when I was a kid because I
Hmm.
didn't want nobody thinking I was a psychopath. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he says he can see music. Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's a weirdo.
It
Staple him to
sounds like a new Marvel character, definitely.
there actually is a character, like I can't remember his name, but there is a character that that is part of his powers. He can like shoot music. It's really weird, like musical notes. He was a gag character, but anyway,
Start whooping
uh
people's asses with Charlie
yeah,
Parker's
with
confirmation.
notes, with licks, exactly, with harmonies and stuff. That's what he does though. He literally will like shoot harmony and
Tritone.
melody. Exactly. Melodic minor, augmented, you know what I'm saying? Like
If a
double
dude
diminished.
raises, yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Double diminished.
yeah.
But but like, yeah, man, it's something that I kind of kept under wraps growing up because I didn't quite understand what it was either. I just knew I always heard music and I could see things, like certain material, clothing material and stuff like that, it would sound like something to me. Certain things that I would eat would sound like something. It's just super weird stuff. But now it's like I don't care. Like I ain't about to kill nobody. I'm not a nutcase. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's just music.
Yeah, yeah. I just
Just
wasn't
music.
sure if the music you're getting from the food is informed by the music you've heard. You know what I mean? Like you say, like
Yeah.
if like after you've learned about Indian music, does that change how you hear stuff because now like your brain has a new angle to take those
I'll I'll put it to
senses?
you like this. Some like for example, eating certain things. Sometimes I'll eat something and it will immediately spark a song that I may have heard before, right? Or a section of a song, maybe a chord progression. It'll spark that. Then other times it'd be something just totally new to me. And I'll be like, wow, what is that? And then I'll turn it into a song and it becomes a song that I probably put on my records. You know what I'm saying? Like literally it's just different every time. It depends. Some things I can, like I tell people all the time, my favorite color is like teal and turquoise, and like the color evergreen, like everything in between that, like that almost I don't know if you guys remember Spike from Ninja Turtles. He was the one turtle, he was a snapping turtle that got transformed, but he was green, but it was like this bluish green color. Okay, you remember the Game Boy colors
Yeah.
from back in the
I never
day?
had a Game Boy.
The
I always played it
the
other
teal one.
people's on the bus.
Yeah, me too. I did too until my mom and dad finally got me one. But that teal one, for some reason, that has always been my favorite color. And for some reason, most of the time when I see that color, it's automatically A flat for some reason.
Wow.
It's just always A flat, right? And it's been like that since before I even knew music. For some reason, when I would look at it, I would just hear in my head. You know what I'm saying? Then later on, I learned, okay, so this is A flat. And still, even when I hear it, only not every instrument, but the frequency from certain instruments, it's going to be teal for some reason. But I don't know, man. It's like I'm diving in like super nerdy on this kind of stuff, but there's so many variables to this thing, and anybody, I say it all the time, anybody could have it. It's really just imagination.
Yeah.
If you sit and look at a painting long enough, just by yourself, and then you stare at this painting long enough, eventually you may hear something. You might hear a song, you might hear I don't know, a groove or anything. Anybody can have synesthesia.
Well,
Some people are just worse than others, I guess.
I don't see color when I hear
Mm.
things, but I I feel
Sounds
it
pretty woke,
as a
though.
color. I'm sorry,
Mm.
what?
Sounds pretty woke.
Yeah, Bubby, I don't see color like
woke,
you.
woke culture, woke
God damn
culture,
it. Can't escape
woke
it.
culture. I'm canceling everybody that doesn't know.
Yeah, guys, I don't see color.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't.
But
Yeah, I
when
don't
I
see coming.
but but like I think of harmony when I hear notes.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
color, like you're creating a picture in sound.
right,
So
right.
I can see how the body could do that, but I can't. My body cannot,
Yeah, yeah.
unfortunately.
And there's different um not ways, but like there's, or not levels, rather, there's different ways that people experience synesthesia. Like, okay, you ever listen to a certain song and it made you feel bad or feel good or feel like that's part of synesthesia. Like, you ever ate something or just smell something and it made you feel something, nostalgic or anything. That's like,
Triggers a memory. Yeah.
yeah, it even that is like a different form of synesthesia. So everybody technically experiences it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody does. I believe everybody does.
It's interesting. I have two questions about that, but one is just a statement, which is for years I would see
Mm,
this certain color, this
mm,
Crayola blue color on these
mm,
cars, and I forget which Audi makes one. Anyway, it's a
mm.
certain color, and every time I saw it, I would get excited. And then just
Yeah.
recently, like the last couple of weeks, I realized why. It's exactly
Mm.
the same color as my first electric guitar.
Oh,
And I'm not kidding though,
sparks
because
memory.
I was like 13 when I bought it. I had like a
Yeah.
little side job and saved up
Mm,
enough money and bought it. And I remember
mm.
that it was bringing back that exact feeling, but I
Yeah.
didn't understand where it was coming from. I don't think maybe that is what you're talking
Not
about. I
to
don't hear
me,
any melody.
the way I see it, that's just a branch, like a branch from what my type of synesthesia is. And I'm in, like, guys, I'll tell y'all this, like, I've talked to people. There was a guy that did a lesson with me some years ago, and I think he was in New Zealand. Could have been in Australia. He was down there, definitely down there. But when he got on the Skype call, everything was just kind of dark and I could barely see him. He had like long red hair and it was just kind of dark. And I was like, "What's up, man?" And he said, "Man, honestly, I didn't want you can show me some stuff on bass, but what I needed to talk to you about is synesthesia." And he told me he barely can leave the house.
Wow.
He said, and everything in his room was like brown. Even his blanket and everything, he was sitting on his bed and it was like brown and like dark yellow, copperish looking, right? And he said, I can barely leave the house. Like I have to prepare myself every day because when he goes outside, all the sound just drives him nuts. And he sees all this different stuff and he can't take it, right? And I had never heard of that before. I was like, wow, man. Like, cause me, I've been the type where I just kind of just let it do what it does. And it doesn't plague my life. I could shut it off if I want to, you know.
Huh.
I could literally just focus in on something else. Like if it I do have a little bit of ADHD. Like my wife would be talking to me and I'll be listening to she's talking in C sharp. Okay. She, like I'll do that, but I won't say nothing because I don't want to get crucified.
Are you transcribing what I'm saying right
Are you transcribing me? How dare you predict my intervals? You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. but like there's people out here that really deal with that. There was a kid I met at NAMM show a few years ago. His father wrote me and was like, my son has synesthesia. He's 15. I'm gonna bring him to NAMM show. He struggles with it every day at school. I kid y'all not, man. This dude came up to me, nice kid too, man. He was really tall. And I was like, "What's going on, man?" I shook his hand and he was just looking around. I was like, "You okay?" And he was like, "I'm cool." And I was like, "Listen, man," I said, "just breathe, man." And I said that all of this stuff is getting to you. And he said, "I'm not gonna lie, it is." And I said, "You just let it do what it does." I said, "Don't fight it." He said, "I'm seeing so much stuff." I said, "I get it. I trust me, I know, but it's cool. It's all good." And I saw him the next few days in NAMM show and he was like, "I'm okay now." And I said, "Yeah, man, like, it ain't nothing wrong with you. Your imagination is going." I said, "Go home and turn this junk into a song." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Turn it into a song. I have a tradition at NAMM show since I've been going back in 2003. Dang, man, 20 years. It'd be 20 years this year. But as soon as I walk through that main entrance, I just stand there for like 10 to 15 minutes and I close my eyes and I listen to all the chaos, right? I love it. I love being surrounded by music. And then I walk straight to Mike Tobias's and they be liking the pork rinds. I bring the pork rinds and peanuts and we sit there and eat, it's great. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I did. I had it, Brad. I just have one follow up
Yeah,
with
go
that.
ahead.
I just was
Mhm.
curious when you were talking about growing up and feeling. It sounds like you were afraid to show who you were as far as, uh, well, to use your words, to being nerdy.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of cred in being nerdy, I guess, or you
Nah,
were.
you was whack. Yeah.
Uh, something happened. Well, go ahead, Brad, and I'll fix what's going on my end.
Oh, okay. Well, another one of the questions I wanted to ask about synesthesia.
Mhm.
I'm a big fan of hip hop, especially a lot of old school hip hop,
Oh yeah.
and a lot of those production techniques
That's when it was real. Yeah.
involve detuning songs.
Yep.
These songs that are not in A440.
Mm-hmm.
Um, does that sometimes create a more beautiful color with the sample, or does it usually like muddy it up a little bit?
It can actually. That was one of my favorite things about playing with Snoop. Um, because a lot of those like classic Dr. Dre records, they were off by like, 40 cent, you
Yeah, yeah,
know, 45, 46 cent and stuff like that. And but instead of me at like some of the songs I in the beginning I would tune to whatever it was and I thought about it. I said, wait a minute, this actually may sound nice if I stay close to 440 and that stays at 4, 70 something or whatever. And I realized like this might actually sound cool. So I got to the point where I stayed tuning standard for most of the time. So those two frequencies could kind of like do this. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
hearing a regular 440A, but then hearing a Turkish music A. You know what I'm saying? Like
I don't
it
know anything about Turkish A's.
it basically like so like sharp, basically
Okay,
just really sharp.
okay.
Just
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
really really sharp, really really sharp, is especially if you're talking like 1980s to like 88 Turkish music, popular music over there, like super sharp. But I began to really enjoy that. And then the few times that I got a chance to like do stuff with RZA or like Red Man and Method Man, like the OGs, man.
Didn't know
Like,
you worked with them. That's
oh man, anybody
Meth and Red are
who's
some of my favorites.
yes, same here. Wu-Tang is
Oh my
probably
god,
the greatest. I mean, Wu-Tang
forever,
probably
dude.
greatest.
For the children,
Yeah.
man.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. But like, yeah, that stuff and working with pretty much any of Snoop's homies from back in the day. If they're a homie of his, I got a chance to work with all of them, from E40, Too Short, Ice Cube. I mean, you name it. Like all Common, Talib Kweli, DMX. Hate to say it, but R. Kelly. Even his nasty tail. But yeah, like that old school
Did you
hip hop,
see
man.
yellow when you heard him?
Oh man. Actually, I think I saw brown. I think I saw I think I saw
There you go. Oh.
brown and black, but oh, disgusting. But yeah,
Yeah,
man.
sorry about that.
No. That's freaking hilarious because yeah, it's not one I'm proud of, man. But we didn't know back then. We didn't really know. But yeah, it does change the colors sometimes,
Okay.
those
Uh,
little, yeah.
yes. Do a lot of people say that 432, tuning your A to 432 hertz is cool. What do you think of that? Someone who actually has a deeper opinion about this stuff.
It's preference, man.
Yeah.
It's preference. I mean, because I mean it here's the thing. There's this new thing out now where every like this new generation is into like chakra and all this kind of stuff. So they're saying the mind is C and it's yellow, and people like me are like, no, C is not yellow for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when I think about my mind, I don't hear C either. Like but they're like the the heart is violet and it's you know G, and it's like, no, the heart is not G to me. Like, y'all are just, who came up with this? You know what I'm
E
saying?
is
Like,
the saddest key.
yeah,
Oh,
like what are
yeah.
you talking about? And like,
Yeah.
no, E is actually very joyful to me. Honestly, it's very
Yeah.
relaxing to me. It's different for everybody. You know, E for me right now, if I think of a open E, specifically open E on one of my bases, specifically, it's red.
Hmm.
It's red, right?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say, oh, so because E is red, then that means E flat would be orange because on the colored decks, it's like, no, that E flat is like E flat is like pinkish right now. You see what I'm saying? So the whole pitch thing, the sense stuff, like I get it. 432, it depends to me. It depends. But whatever people feel, hey man, if you feel like it sounds cooler, yeah, then great. That's how you feel. You know what I'm saying? But for me, like, you know what's so random, guys? Out here, I still don't understand why, but out here they tune to 441. Why the 1 cent? I have no idea. I literally, and nobody can honestly tell the difference, right?
Yeah.
Like it's way too close. Like and first off, you can't even tell on a stringed instrument because our string instruments are going to be off regardless. Like if you listen to 440 on a piano and then 441, the difference is like practically non-existent. You really have to be zoned in to even hear how this is the nerd stuff, how the color of it is like morphing a little bit. It's practically impossible. I don't know why they do that though, but then you go to India and it's like 480. You go to Bangladesh, it's like 9,000 Vegeta and Goku. You know what I'm saying? It's just different, man. Everybody, it just depends on what you want.
So it sounds like it's all vibration to you, and you don't think of the temperate system as being tyrannical in any way. It's all vibration.
That's it. And it depends on how it looks to me. Like you can see the note and the frequency if you're zoning in on it. You know, like you could play an open E on that guitar back there, and you know, people with synesthesia, they literally can. It almost looks like when you're recording, and you know how when you're recording, you can see the frequency. It almost looks like that. You know what I'm saying? You can see it.
So when you see Brad's hair, when you see that ginger kind of thing, what do you get? Is it an evil kind of or
don't be scared, Bubby, don't be scared, just a ginger,
be honest.
I think of Carrot Top, man. Hey, that dude is a legend, man.
I'm honored.
He's a freaking legend, man. That dude is a legend.
Yeah, Brad needs some props.
You can't give me some props, Matt.
Watermelon and a sledgehammer and
rest in peace, Gallagher.
Gallagher, yeah, that's
a rubber duck. Yeah, get you some props, man. Classic comedy props. Yeah, man.